The warlord mocked her smile. Seconds later, his army froze in fear. HFY Sci-Fi Best Stories. The sky above the border world was dark with smoke. Distant stars were barely visible behind the haze of burning cities. The people who remained in the capital moved quietly, fearful of the alien soldiers patrolling the streets. Kraxer, the warlord, had conquered this planet in less than a week. His army was huge, far larger and stronger than anything humans had faced before. Yet despite their size and power, the humans were not completely silent. A few brave citizens still whispered hope, though most had learned fear. In the center of the capital, a massive square had been cleared. Thousands of alien soldiers stood in perfect lines. Their armor gleamed with a strange metallic shine, and strange devices attached to their arms hummed softly. At the front of the square, Kraxer stood on a raised platform, his long black cloak flowing behind him. His face was pale but hard, with eyes that glowed faintly red. His lips curled into a cruel smile as he looked at the humans gathered below. The humans were small in number. A few were diplomats and negotiators, brought here under strict orders from their leaders. Among them was Claire, a young woman with short brown hair and steady green eyes. She wore a simple uniform, plain and worn, but she carried herself with a confidence that seemed out of place in front of thousands of aliens. Beside her were others: Daniel, a quiet man who had once been a teacher, and Lily, a medic who had helped civilians escape. All of them were chained, but they walked forward without hesitation. Their chains rattled as they stepped onto the open square. Kraxer's voice rang out, deep and sharp. It echoed across the square. "Humans," he said, "you come before me broken and frightened. I have conquered your world, your cities are in flames, your people beg for mercy, and yet you walk forward as if nothing has happened. Why do you mock me with your courage?" Claire did not flinch. She lifted her head slightly and smiled. It was a small smile, but it was bright against the fear that hung in the air. The soldiers laughed, a harsh sound that seemed to shake the ground. Kraxer's eyes narrowed. "What is this?" he demanded. "You smile when you should beg, you laugh when you should cry. Your defiance is foolish. Perhaps your leaders are weak, but you," he gestured at Claire, "you will learn fear today." He turned to signal the soldiers. A row of alien guards stepped forward, carrying strange weapons that glowed with blue energy. The crowd of humans shivered. Many expected the weapons to fire, to end lives instantly. Daniel's hands tightened on his chains, and Lily swallowed hard. She could see Claire's lips pressed into a gentle line, not moving, not wavering. The calm in her friend was like a shield. Kraxer waved his hand, and the weapons stopped. He laughed, loud and sharp. "I see," he said. "You think your smiles can protect you. Very well, speak. Tell me why you do not tremble before me. Amuse me, human." Claire stepped slightly forward, chains clinking with each movement. Her voice was clear and steady. "We are not afraid because we know what comes next does not define us. You see power, but we see patience. You see war, but we know how to survive." Kraxer blinked, taken slightly off guard. His red eyes narrowed as he studied her. "Patience," he repeated almost mockingly. "Survival, do you think these words mean anything? You are small, your weapons are weak, your people are weak. Explain to me why your little smile should matter." Claire's smile widened just a fraction. She did not answer immediately. She let the wind carry the silence across the square, letting it reach every alien soldier, letting them feel the calm in her. Some of them shifted uncomfortably. A few glanced at each other, unsure of why the human was not quivering. Kraxer's anger began to show. His jaw tightened and his hands clenched into fists. "You speak as if words can change the outcome," he said. "You speak as if history favors you, yet your cities burn, your people beg for life. You should kneel and beg, human. Why do you resist?" Claire's voice was quiet but strong. "Because resistance is not always loud, because courage is not always visible. Humans have fallen before, yes, but we have always learned, and now you will see what patience looks like." The alien soldiers laughed again, but the sound felt uneven. A few soldiers shifted their weapons, checking their systems. Kraxer's expression darkened. He did not like the way some of his men hesitated, even for a moment. He stepped down from the platform, walking slowly toward the humans. His cloak trailed behind him like a shadow. Every step he took made the ground tremble slightly. He stopped just a few meters from Claire. The chains between them rattled. He leaned close, speaking in a low voice meant only for her. "You will learn fear today. Your smile will vanish when my weapons find your heart. You are nothing." Claire met his gaze evenly. She did not blink. Fear is not a gift you give, Warlord. It is something we choose to feel or not. You cannot take it with a weapon. Craxer's hand twitched, and he raised his weapon to signal an attack. The hum of energy weapons filled the square. The humans flinched slightly. Daniel closed his eyes, expecting fire to strike. Lily gritted her teeth, ready to shield the others if she could. And then nothing happened. The energy weapons glowed brightly for a moment, then went dead. One after another, the devices fell silent. Alien soldiers looked at each other, confused. Craxer's eyes widened in shock. "What is this?" he demanded. "Why do your devices fail?" Claire said nothing. She only smiled wider. The calm in her eyes unnerved the warlord. He stepped back slightly, unsure of how to respond. The soldiers murmured among themselves, some taking cautious steps away from their weapons. Fear began to creep into their minds, though none knew why. Craxer waved his hand, trying to regain control. "This is impossible. These devices are controlled by me. How can they fail?" "Human trickery, impossible," Claire spoke again, quietly but with conviction. "It is not trickery, it is preparation. Humans survive because we plan, we survive because we wait. You think power alone wins wars. You do not understand patience." The warlord's face twisted with anger. He barked orders to restart the weapons, to fire at the humans. But again, the weapons remained dead. Panic spread faster than Craxer expected. Some soldiers looked to their comrades for guidance, but no one moved. The devices, the armor, even their communication systems seemed to freeze. It was as if invisible hands held them in place. Craxer turned toward Claire, rage in his eyes. You mock me. Do you see what you have done? You will die for this insolence." Claire's smile did not fade. She stepped closer, her chains clinking softly. "I do not mock you. I only waited. Your fear is not ours. Your weapons are not ours. Patience is ours. And now you will understand." Alien soldiers tried to move, but every step was slow, stiff. The energy hum of their suits died completely. Some screamed in frustration, others froze in panic. Craxer's anger turned to disbelief. He struck the ground with his weapon, trying to force it to respond, but it did nothing. The warlord realized too late that the humans were not begging, not pleading, not hoping for mercy. They had prepared. For the first time, fear touched Craxer, not the fear of losing a battle, but the fear of helplessness. His army, so proud and strong, was frozen in place, unable to act. He had never known such a thing, never felt power slip through his fingers. Claire turned her gaze to the army, her voice carrying across the square. "Humans do not smile because we are weak. We smile because we know the end is already decided. Your fear will not be ours." The silence that followed was heavy. Not one weapon fired, not one alien moved. Only Claire and the humans stood, small and seemingly fragile, yet unbroken. The smile on her face seemed to glow in the dim light, a signal of hope and strength. For the first time, the humans in the crowd dared to look up from their hiding places. They saw one person standing without fear. They felt a spark of hope. Maybe they thought humans could survive. Maybe they thought humans could win. And Craxer, the warlord who had conquered worlds, knew that the game had changed. He did not yet understand the full scope of humanity's plan, but he felt it. The moment was small, simple, yet terrifying. A smile had become a weapon, and he was powerless against it. The sun, or what remained of it behind the smoke, glinted on Claire's face. She looked at the warlord with steady eyes. She did not tremble. She did not bow. And in that simple act, she carried the weight of every human life that had suffered and survived. In that moment, the alien army froze in fear. Not fear of death, not fear of pain, but fear of something deeper. Fear of the unknown, fear of a people who would never be defeated so long as they remained patient, calm, and determined. And the story of one smile, one simple act of courage, began. The silence in the square was heavy. Alien soldiers stood frozen, their eyes wide, their weapons useless. Craxer, the warlord, stared at Claire with disbelief. He had never felt helpless before. His army, the strongest in the sector, was paralyzed in front of him. He clenched his fists, anger rising, but no weapon answered his command. Claire's smile remained calm, almost gentle. She turned slightly to look at Daniel and Lily. They nodded to each other, a quiet signal that everything was going according to plan. Years of preparation had led to this moment. The humans were not here to beg or to fight blindly. They were here to show that even the most powerful force could be stopped with patience and strategy. Craxer took a step forward. "You think this is clever, human?" he shouted. "You think your people can survive against me? Your words, your smiles mean nothing. Tell me how this happened. Claire's voice was steady, carrying across the square. It happened because humans learn, we adapt, we do not rush, we prepare. She gestured at the frozen army. You see my people, yet you do not understand. You see weapons, yet you cannot use them. We are not weak, we are ready. Craxer's anger turned to panic. He barked orders, but no one moved. He struck the ground with his weapon, trying to reactivate the alien systems. Sparks flew, but the machines refused to respond. The alien soldiers looked at him in confusion and fear. For the first time, Craxer realized that his strength alone could not control everything. In the crowd, human citizens began to peek from hiding places. They had been watching from rooftops, windows, and alleys, unsure if they should hope. Now seeing the aliens frozen, they dared to move closer. Whispers spread like wildfire. Hope, long buried, began to grow. They saw Claire, small but unbroken, standing in the square. A simple smile had changed the course of fear into courage. Claire took a step forward. We did not come here to destroy you with violence. We came to show what humanity can do when it plans ahead. Your army is strong, yes, but our patience is stronger. Your fear of losing control is what stops you. Craxer's face twisted with disbelief. You speak of patience, yet I have conquered planets in days. Your people are weak. How can patience defeat me? Claire's gaze did not waver. Strength without wisdom is nothing. You see power as the only answer. Humans know there are many answers. We wait, we learn, we strike only when the time is right. Your moment of victory is already gone. As she spoke, small devices hidden in the city began to activate. Invisible signals sent pulses through alien systems, causing their technology to falter further. The soldiers' armor stiffened, their weapons locked, their communication systems silent. Alien commanders tried to shout orders, but no sound came from their devices. Fear grew faster than Craxer could control. Some soldiers tried to flee, but invisible forces stopped them. Their steps faltered. Some screamed, but their voices seemed to vanish in the thick air. Craxer looked around, trying to find the cause. He saw nothing but humans standing calmly as if nothing were happening. Claire stepped closer to the platform where Craxer had first stood. Her chains rattled softly. Do you feel it? She asked. Your power is useless now. Your army is frozen. Your weapons do not work. And yet you are alive. We did not fire a single shot. We only waited. Craxer's hands shook. Rage and fear mixed in his eyes. He looked at the humans around Claire. They were small, fragile in appearance, but they moved with quiet confidence. Some of them carried tools or small devices, but nothing that seemed threatening. Yet the alien army was frozen. The Warlord had no control. Lily whispered to Daniel, I never imagined it would be like this. They are completely stopped. It is unbelievable. Daniel nodded, watching the humans in the square. Claire said patience was our weapon. Now I understand. It is not about fighting blindly. It is about preparing, knowing when to act. Craxer's voice shook as he shouted, This cannot be. I am Craxer. I am the strongest warlord. My enemies fall before me, Claire smiled. Your strength is real, your soldiers are brave, but you lack foresight. Humans survive because we see beyond the moment. We plan for years, for decades. We wait for the right time. You never waited. You never saw the larger picture. A hum began to rise from the city. It was soft at first, barely noticeable, but it grew steadily. The alien soldiers looked at each other in confusion. Their armor vibrated slightly. Craxer's eyes widened. What is this? Another trick? Claire raised her voice, calm and clear. It is not a trick. It is preparation. Long before you arrived, humans planted systems across this sector. We learned from every defeat, every invasion. We waited for the moment when your arrogance would meet our patience. That moment is now. Some alien soldiers dropped to their knees, overwhelmed by fear and confusion. Others clutched their weapons, trying to force them to work, but the devices remained unresponsive. Craxer's red eyes darted around, searching for answers. He saw nothing but calm humans standing with dignity and strength. Claire stepped down from the platform. Her chains rattled with each movement, but her eyes were steady. You may have conquered worlds before. You may have crushed armies with ease. But humans do not surrender to fear. We do not bow to power alone. We survive because we think, because we wait, because we adapt. Craxer's anger flared. He lunged at Claire, trying to strike her with his weapon, but before he could reach her, his armor locked completely. He fell to the ground, unable to move. Alien soldiers watched in horror as their leader became helpless, just like them. The once mighty warlord was now a prisoner of his own army. The humans in the square remained calm. Daniel and Lily moved closer to Claire. They did not need to act violently. The alien army had already frozen itself. One small human delegation had turned an entire army into statues. Claire spoke softly, yet every word echoed across the square. "We are not here to kill. We are here to show that strength alone is not enough. Humanity survives because we prepare, because we endure, because we act when the time is right. Your fear has trapped you, not our weapons." The square remained silent for a long moment. Then slowly, alien soldiers began to look at each other, confused and terrified. Some shook, some dropped to their knees. The humans saw the fear that had once been hidden behind alien armor. It was raw, unfiltered, and completely real. Craxer struggled, trying to free himself, but the more he fought, the more trapped he became. He realized, finally, that his victories in the past had been fragile. He had relied on fear and force, not patience and planning. Humanity had survived countless attacks, countless invasions, because they did not act blindly. They waited, and now the Warlord himself was learning the meaning of fear. Claire turned to the alien soldiers, her voice carrying across the square. "Look at us and understand. Humans are not weak. We do not bow because we fear. We bow only when the outcome is certain. Your weapons do not control us. Your numbers do not control us. Your fear of losing control controls you." The soldiers murmured among themselves, confusion and panic mixing. Some tried to activate their weapons again, but nothing worked. The devices hummed faintly, then died completely. Alien commanders shouted orders, but the sounds were broken, unclear. The humans remained calm, like a solid island in a sea of chaos. Daniel whispered to Lily, "It is incredible. They can't move, they can't fight, and we haven't even touched them." Lily nodded. Claire said patience is a weapon. Now I see. Patience is stronger than any gun or machine. It wins without blood. Claire stepped forward, closer to Craxer. Her smile was calm and steady. "Your fear is real now, Warlord. Your army will not move, your weapons will not fire, and yet you live. Your power is useless against patience. This is humanity's strength." Craxer's chest heaved. Anger, fear, and disbelief warred inside him. He realized that the humans in the square were not ordinary. They were small, fragile in appearance, but unstoppable in will. One smile had turned his entire army against him. One calm woman had changed the course of a battle without firing a shot. The city around them remained quiet. Smoke and dust hung in the air. The humans in the square did not attack. They only stood, showing the aliens that victory was not about weapons or numbers, but about patience, preparation, and courage. And in that quiet, tense moment, the humans proved something the aliens could not understand at first. Humans survive. Humans endure. Humans do not bow to fear. Humans plan, wait, and act when the time is right. Claire looked at the sky, at the distant stars barely visible beyond smoke and haze. She smiled again, calm and confident. She did not speak. She did not need to. The message had been sent. Humanity's patience had become a weapon far stronger than any army. And the Warlord, Craxer, for the first time in his life, knew what it meant to be powerless. The square remained silent, but the tension in the air was thick. Alien soldiers froze in place, their weapons useless, their minds filled with confusion. Craxer, the Warlord, struggled against his locked armor, his anger and fear clashing inside him. He had ruled countless worlds, yet now he was powerless before a small human delegation. Claire walked slowly through the square, her chains rattling softly. Her calm smile never faded. She looked at the frozen soldiers, seeing their confusion and fear. It was not anger, not hate, but true fear, fear of something they could not understand. She had seen this before in simulations, in plans they had tested for years. Humanity had survived because they could think ahead, act carefully, and wait. The aliens were now experiencing exactly what patience felt like. Daniel and Lily followed behind Claire. They had helped set the stage for this moment, but they, too, remained calm. Their chains rattled with every step, but they did not flinch. The humans did not need weapons. The alien army had already stopped itself. Craxer's red eyes darted around. He shouted orders, but no one responded. His commanders tried to activate their devices, but everything remained dead. Panic spread through the ranks faster than any human could have imagined. Alien soldiers stumbled, tried to move, but could not. Their armor and weapons locked them in place. They had never known fear like this. Claire raised her voice, carrying over the silent square. "Look around you," she said. Your strength is nothing without control. Your weapons are useless when you cannot think ahead. Humans survive because we plan, because we endure, and because we act when the time is right. Your army is frozen, not because of force, but because of patience. Krazor's jaw tightened. You think this is over? He shouted. You think you have won? You are small humans. One day another army will come. One day you will fall. Claire did not respond immediately. Instead, she signaled to Daniel and Lily. A small device in her hand activated, sending a soft pulse across the city. Buildings vibrated slightly, and distant alien systems began to fail. Communication networks went silent, armor systems locked further, and small drones patrolling the area dropped to the ground. Alien soldiers panicked, trying to understand what was happening. You see, Claire said softly, we wait, we prepare, you cannot react to what you do not understand. Every defeat humans have faced has taught us something. We remember, we plan, and now you are learning. The humans in the crowd peeked out from hiding. They saw the alien army frozen, the warlord struggling, and Claire standing calmly in the center. Whispers of hope spread quickly. Parents held children closer, workers paused in alleys, and teachers in hiding remembered the courage of their people. The square had become a symbol of humanity's endurance. Krazor's eyes burned with frustration. He struck the ground with his weapon, trying to force it to respond. Sparks flew, but nothing worked. The alien soldiers around him shouted, tried to move, but they remained frozen. Their training, their discipline, even their fear of humans, it all failed. Claire stepped closer to the warlord. Your strength alone cannot win, she said. Your weapons cannot control minds. Your army cannot move without your command, and now your command is useless. You have underestimated humanity. You have underestimated patience. Krazor's chest heaved. He realized with growing horror that the humans in the square were not afraid. They did not flinch, they did not beg, they did not plead. Their chains rattled, but their eyes were steady. They were calm, confident, and unbroken. A hum rose across the city. Distant alien devices began to fail one by one. Energy shields flickered and died. Weapon systems powered down. Alien soldiers who had been patrolling the streets collapsed in place. Their training was useless. They could not understand how a small group of humans had caused such chaos without firing a shot. Daniel whispered to Lily, "It is happening faster than I imagined." Their systems are failing everywhere. We only needed a signal. Lily nodded, eyes wide. Claire said patience was a weapon. I think we are seeing it. It is stronger than anything I have ever imagined. Claire walked toward Krazor again. She looked directly into his red eyes. Fear does not come from death or pain. Fear comes from helplessness. Your army is frozen. Your weapons are dead. Your control is gone. You are learning what patience can do. Krazor tried to shout, to rally his army, but his voice was drowned in silence. Alien commanders tried to activate devices, but everything was dead. The humans had not touched a single weapon, yet the aliens were powerless. Panic spread faster than any human attack could. Claire signaled to Daniel. He activated another device, sending pulses through the alien networks. Distant ships faltered. Communications failed. Automated drones crashed. Alien soldiers fell to their knees, screaming in frustration and fear. Krazor's face turned red, his jaw tight. He had never known such chaos in his career. Lily whispered, "It is unbelievable. They cannot move, they cannot fight, and we haven't even touched them directly." Daniel nodded. "Patience wins without blood. It is stronger than any weapon." Claire turned to the frozen army. See what happens when strength is used without wisdom. See what happens when power is not balanced with thought. Humans survive because we prepare, because we wait, because we endure. Your fear is real now. It is not ours, it is yours. Krazor's eyes darted around, trying to find a way to regain control. He saw his soldiers frozen, unable to act. He realized, finally, that his victories in the past had been fragile. He had relied on fear, on brute force, on numbers. Humans had survived countless attacks because they used strategy and patience. Now he understood their power too late. The city around them remained quiet. Smoke hung in the sky, dust settled on the streets, and the humans in the square stood calm and resolute. Daniel and Lily moved closer to Claire. They did not need to act violently. The alien army had already stopped itself. Claire spoke again, her voice carrying over the silent square. "We are not here to kill. We are here to show that power alone is not enough. Strength without planning is useless. Humans survive because we endure, because we prepare, and because we act when the time is right. Your fear has trapped you, not our weapons. Some alien soldiers began to shake, trying to force their weapons to work. Sparks flew, systems flickered, but nothing responded. Alien commanders shouted, but no sound came through. The humans remained calm, like an island in a sea of chaos. Claire looked at Krasor. Look at us. Understand what happens when you underestimate humans. We are small, fragile, but unstoppable when we act together, when we think ahead, when we wait for the right time. Krasor's chest heaved. Anger, fear, and disbelief warred inside him. He realized that the humans in the square were not ordinary. They were small, fragile in appearance, but their will was unbreakable. One smile had turned his army into statues. One calm woman had changed the course of a battle without firing a shot. The humans in the crowd dared to come out of hiding. They saw the alien army frozen, the warlord struggling, and Claire standing calmly. Whispers of hope spread. Humans could survive. Humans could fight back. Humans could win not with weapons, but with patience, planning, and courage. Claire raised her voice one last time. Humans do not bow to fear. We do not surrender to power alone. We endure. We plan. We act when the moment is right. This is our strength. Your army is frozen. Your weapons are dead. Your fear is yours, not ours. Remember this. Krasor's armor shuddered. His systems failed completely. He fell to his knees. His army could not move. The humans had won without firing a single shot. The warlord's empire had been humbled by patience and strategy, by preparation and courage. And the story of humanity's strength continued. It was not yet over, but the message was clear. Humans survive, humans endure, and humans will never bow to fear. Patience is their weapon, and it is stronger than any army. Claire looked at the sky, at the stars barely visible beyond the smoke. She smiled, calm and confident. She did not need weapons. She did not need violence. The aliens had already learned the lesson. Humanity's patience had become a weapon far stronger than any army. The warlord Krasor, for the first time in his life, understood what it meant to be powerless. The city was quiet, but the air felt electric. Alien soldiers were frozen in place, their weapons dead, their minds filled with confusion. Krasor, the warlord, knelt on the ground, his armor completely locked. He had ruled many worlds, conquered countless enemies, yet now he was helpless before a small group of humans. Claire walked through the square with calm confidence. Her chains rattled softly with each step, but her eyes were steady. She looked at Krasor, then at his frozen army. She knew the moment to act had come. The humans had prepared for this, but their plan did not require firing a single weapon. Patience had already done the work. Daniel and Lily followed behind her. They had helped set up the devices and signals that had immobilized the alien army. Now, they simply needed to maintain calm and control. The humans' presence alone was enough. The aliens had no idea how many systems were planted across the city, across the planet, or even in orbit. The humans had been waiting for years for this moment, quietly preparing. Claire stopped in front of Krasor. He looked up at her with a mixture of anger and fear. "You think you have won?" he demanded. His voice was shaky. "I am the warlord. I have conquered worlds. I will not be defeated by humans." Claire's smile remained calm. "Your army is frozen, your weapons are dead, your control is gone, yet you live. That is mercy, not weakness. We do not need to fight when patience and preparation are enough. Your fear has trapped you, not our strength." Krasor tried to shout, to force his systems to work, but nothing responded. Sparks flew from his weapon, but it did not fire. Alien soldiers around him trembled, but could not move. Some fell to their knees, some tried to crawl away, all paralyzed by fear they could not explain. Claire turned her gaze to the square, where thousands of alien soldiers remained frozen. She spoke calmly, her voice carrying through the silent city. "Look at what happens when strength is used without wisdom. Your numbers do not save you. Your weapons do not save you. Your fear of losing control has already defeated you." The humans in hiding began to emerge. Citizens peeked from windows and alleys, daring to move closer. Parents held children, workers paused their tasks, and teachers whispered quietly to one another. Hope had returned. Humanity could survive. Humanity could endure. Humanity could win not with fire or destruction, but with patience and careful planning. Daniel whispered to Lily, "I never imagined it would be like this. They cannot move, they cannot fight, and we haven't even touched them directly." Lily nodded. Claire said patience was a weapon. "Now I see. It is stronger than anything I have ever imagined." Claire signaled to Daniel. He activated another device, sending pulses through the alien systems. Distant alien ships faltered, communications failed, and automated drones crashed. Alien soldiers fell to the ground, screaming and panicking. Craxer's face turned red, his jaw tight. He had never known such chaos in his life. Claire spoke softly, yet every word echoed through the square. Humans do not bow to fear. We endure. We plan. We act when the moment is right. This is our strength. Your army is frozen. Your weapons are dead. Your fear is yours, not ours. Remember this. Krazor's mind raced. He realized that the humans before him were not ordinary. They were small and fragile in appearance, yet unstoppable in will. One smile had turned his army into statues. One calm woman had changed the course of a battle without firing a shot. The aliens tried to activate their weapons again, but nothing responded. Their armor vibrated, systems died, and their communications failed. Panic spread faster than any human attack could. The humans remained calm, like an island in a sea of chaos. Claire stepped closer to Krazor. Look at us. Understand what happens when you underestimate humans. We are small, fragile, but unstoppable when we act together, when we think ahead, when we wait for the right time. Krazor's chest heaved. He had relied on fear, on brute strength, on numbers. Humans had survived countless attacks because they used strategy, patience, and endurance. Now he understood their power too late. The city remained quiet except for the soft rattling of chains. Smoke hung in the air, dust settled on the streets, and humans in the square stood calm and resolute. Daniel and Lily moved closer to Claire. They did not need to act violently. The alien army had already stopped itself. Claire raised her voice, calm and strong. We are not here to kill. We are here to show that strength alone is not enough. Humans survive because we endure, because we plan, because we act when the moment is right. Your fear has trapped you, not our weapons. Krazor tried one last time to regain control. He struck the ground with his weapon, but sparks flew and died. Alien soldiers screamed, but their voices were lost in silence. The humans had won without firing a single shot. The Warlord's empire had been humbled by patience and strategy, by preparation and courage. The humans in the crowd began to cheer softly. It was not loud or violent, but full of hope. They had seen the aliens frozen, the Warlord powerless, and Claire standing calmly. Whispers spread. Humans could survive. Humans could fight back. Humans could win. Claire turned to the crowd. Look at us and remember, humans do not bow to fear. We endure. We plan. We act when the time is right. Patience is our weapon, stronger than any army. Krazor's armor finally released him, but he fell to the ground, defeated. His soldiers could not move, and their systems were useless. He realized that he had been defeated not by force, but by preparation, calm, and strategy. He had underestimated humans, and it had cost him everything. The humans began to walk through the square, chains rattling but calm. They checked on the alien soldiers, ensuring no one was permanently harmed. The message was clear. Humans were not cruel. They were strong in ways the aliens could not understand. Strength was not just in numbers or weapons. Strength was in patience, planning, and endurance. Claire looked at Krazor. Your fear is real now. Your army cannot move. Your weapons do not work, yet you live. That is mercy. Remember it. Krazor's chest heaved. He looked at the humans before him, small, fragile, yet powerful in will. He realized that he had been defeated completely. Humans had survived, endured, and shown their strength without a single weapon fired. One small smile, one calm presence had changed the outcome of an entire battle. The city slowly came back to life. Humans emerged from hiding, amazed at what had happened. They whispered to each other, sharing stories of courage and patience. They had survived. They had won without violence. The aliens had been defeated not by blood, but by strategy and calm. Claire raised her eyes to the sky, looking at the stars beyond the smoke. She smiled, calm and confident. Humanity's message was clear. Humans do not bow to fear. They endure. They prepare. They act when the moment is right. Patience is a weapon stronger than any army. Krazor, kneeling in the square, finally understood what it meant to be powerless. The warlord who had conquered worlds had been humbled by one smile, one calm woman, and one human message. Patience wins, strength alone does not. And in that quiet moment, humanity's victory was complete. It was not a victory of fire or blood, but a victory of endurance, strategy, and patience. The aliens would never forget the day a human smile froze an army and humbled a warlord. The humans walked through the city, checking on citizens and ensuring the aliens did not harm anyone further. They were careful, calm, and collected. The people of the city looked at them with awe, hope returning to their hearts. Humans had survived not by strength alone, but by planning, patience, and courage. Claire looked at Daniel and Lily nodded and smiled. They had done what many thought impossible. The alien army was frozen, the warlord defeated, and humanity had sent a message to the stars. Humans were not weak. Humans endured. Humans survived. And so the story ended with one small smile, one act of calm courage, and the understanding that humanity's strength was far beyond what any enemy could imagine. Patience, preparation, and endurance had triumphed where weapons had failed. The stars above shone faintly through the smoke. Humans stood together, victorious without violence, and ready for whatever came next. The warlord and his army had learned the lesson. Humans survive, humans endure, and humans will never bow to fear. And humanity's message echoed silently across the galaxy, carried not by guns or ships, but by strategy, courage, and patience. Fear is not ours to give. It belongs to those who do not understand the human way.